Josh, that was rough. The Pittsburgh Penguins fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-1. I'm sad. You're sad. Let's talk about it. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the Penguins Collective podcast. My name is Louie.
My name is Josh.
And we're two brothers who love to talk about hockey.
Especially the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, it was a rough one. That was tough to watch. Now, I have defended the Pittsburgh Penguins in a lot of areas this season. Josh has as well. We have not hit the panic button at all. We're doing so tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely need to do something. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. Thank you for joining the chat. Don't forget to let us know what you thought of tonight's game. Let me know if you're just as mad as I am. Because I'll tell you something. 0-32.
33.
0 for 33 on the power play. Not good. It's not even funny anymore. We can't even make jokes. It's not only Mike Sullivan's problem. Not only... at least they're there. It's not only a Todd Reardon problem. It's a player problem. It's an organization problem. Is Kyle Dubas trading away the top six? Who knows? This is time to hit the panic button. We're 25 games in, and we downright stink. The Pittsburgh Penguins are not the Pittsburgh Penguins of old. So much so that I got a text from our dad during this game.
Oh boy.
Saying, what's wrong with the Penguins? Now, mind you, this is a man that never texts about the Penguins. Not only does he not text about the Penguins, he's not even caught up with what's going on. He could not tell you who's on this team besides Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, okay? He could not tell you who's on this team. He texted me saying...
He didn't, like, I remember talking to him when we made the Erik Karlsson trade, and he said, why was that such a big deal?
Yeah.
He didn't understand that.
Right. He doesn't understand what's going on. I get a text saying, why do the Penguins stink right now? And this man doesn't watch hockey. If the Penguins are not passing a blind, an eye test to an old 64-year-old man.
Wow, you're calling him old. Just wait until he listens.
Yeah. He is watching this team going, man, that doesn't look like a good hockey team. And text me going, why do they look bad? And I'm like, I don't know. That's a great question. We came back against Tampa Bay a week ago, all right? And I wasn't rushing to any judgments. I was actually in my brain going to tweet this out. I was going to say, I'm not going to overreact to the first period. First period, we looked slow. It didn't even look like we showed up. My beer league hockey team could have beaten the Penguins in the first period.
Last week.
What?
Last week you're referring to? Or tonight?
No, tonight. This first period. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to freak out. We shouldn't freak out because Mike Sullivan's going to talk to this team in between periods, and they're going to come back just like they did last week, come back and win the game. I was like, I'm waiting. That never came. The Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely fell flat on their face with 4 Hall of Famers and a Vezina Trophy candidate currently right now. Now, Jari, I'm defending Jari right now. I'll defend 3 people tonight. That's it. Everyone else, dead. Dead to me, okay? Jari, he's being left out to dry. He's being left out to dry. It's not his fault that we're losing. Now, it's 3-1. It could have been a lot more. 3-1. Jari played as well as he could have in front of this terrible defense. The next person I'm gonna defend is Sidney Crosby, because at least he looked like he gave a crap tonight. That was it. And I'm seeing the chat going right now, and I need to catch up and read it in a second. I see a lot. I see Josh Getzoff is the only reason we didn't get a shutout. Oh, he said it. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, he's into those jinxes. Anyway, I'm back at Tristan Jarry and Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby's the only one who gave a crap tonight. And then I got to defend Mike Sullivan. Here's why. I'm not hitting the panic button and saying that we need to fire everyone. We need to fire Todd Reardon, and that should have happened a month ago. All right? We're 0-33. And Josh threw a stat. We're 1 in what?
1 in 40 in the last month.
1 in 40 in the last month. We have 1 power play goal in 40 chances in the last month.
Yeah, I think it's the last 30 days, because the last goal was November 11th was the last.
We are in December, and we haven't scored a power play goal. That coach, gone. And I know it's on the players, but it's a wake-up call, right? If I'm Dubas, I wake up tomorrow and I fire that man, and I let every player know, you could be next, dude. That guy's gone. Come up with a solution or you're gone. Now, I'll defend Mike Sullivan, and I'll tell you why. The whole internet wants him dead, okay? The whole internet is saying Mike Sullivan's not the coach of this team anymore. He's 38-38 in the last something games, and people are saying we need to hold him accountable. He's the reason for that. I don't think so. I think Mike Sullivan is still the coach of this team, and I think he should be. I'm a two-parter here, and I'll defend him because I do think he's the coach of this team. But I will say he does need to start taking a little bit of responsibility for this team right now. Okay, we're getting a little too political with our responses in the locker room. I'm getting sick of it. Let's see a little emotion. All right, let's get a little emotion out of Mike Sullivan when he talks to the press tonight saying, hey, our guys are trash. Our guys are trash right now. And honestly, I would respect Mike Sullivan more. And he's doing he's a good players coach. He works with them. He understands, how everything operates. So he's never going to say that. But I would like to see a little bit of accountability, not only on him, but on the players. I'll defend him there. But do I think this freak out and this panic button is without cause? No. I understand the Penguins fans' frustrations. I do. On paper, we have a second-round playoff team ready to go. But right now, we are under the record. We are under the Philadelphia Flyers. We are under everyone. The only team that's below us is the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm pretty sure.
I think in our division, you might be right.
So, yeah, and that's what I mean.
Oh, and Washington.
But they're winning right now.
Yeah, they're turning things around. It might be closer than we want it to be.
I'll just look at the divisional standing. Oh, no, I'm right.
So we are now below Washington.
Josh, we're below the Devils. This is how currently, let me just break it down real quick. Rangers, Hurricanes, Flyers, Islanders, Capitals, Devils, Penguins, Blue Jackets.
Well,
okay.
Devils slacking lately. I haven't checked the standings in a while.
Yeah, and I just want to say, all right, so if we're going off of points, we have 25. Devils have 25. Blue Jackets have 21.
It's 2 wins.
It's 25 games in the season. We cannot be looking like this. All right? And Josh, before you get going, let's just look at the chat real quick. And then you're good to go. That was my rant. NES, I want to talk about this. And welcome to the chat. A 5-on-3, and we couldn't even score. Not even a 5-on-3. Jay, let's talk about it. 5-on-3 and a broken stick.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know what's coming. Guess who had the puck in that moment?
Malkin.
It was Evgeny Malkin. And what does he do? Does he pass to the back door? Does he pass to the side? No, he shoots and it goes off the defender without the stick. We have to be smarter than that. We have to be smarter than this. It's a 5-on-3, and 4 of those 5 are Hall of Famers if they quit hockey tomorrow. They quit hockey tomorrow. They're in the Hall of Fame. And they can't score on a 5-on-3 with technically a 5-on-2.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
And you can't do it? Get Todd Reirden out and then disperse the talent. Disperse it. And I understand what you may think of, like, disperse. That doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't you want more talent on the line? We did that today. We put Malkin on the front line with Sid and Gensel to try to get the boys going. And I'll say no, we can't disperse. I mean, we can't combine. We have to disperse. Why? Because there's no depth. There's no depth. 100%. Dubas says, he's in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle Dubas is in the chat. NES says, Dubas Claus needs to bring us a power play for Christmas. I think Dubas needs to bring a lot more than just a power play for Christmas. He needs to bring a couple trades before Christmas. I think it's time. Dubas has been watching carefully, and if we learned anything from Dubas, is that he's not willing to look bad. And he'll lose, but on his terms. Right now, it's not on his terms. Right now, he's probably looking at his phone going, who wants someone? Who wants him? Because guess what? I will say, we sent POJ down to Wilkes-Barre, but if somebody wants him and he's healthy, he's gone. If somebody wants POJ, he's gone. If somebody wants a Hinostroza, if somebody wants Lars Eller, if somebody wants any of these guys on the bottom 6, they're gone because we need to get something going. 100%. 100% we need to get going. Josh, I've been talking a lot.
Yeah.
I'll mute my mic. Go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to unpack after tonight. It's a lot to unpack. We go into tonight's game with already a shakeup in the lineup, trying to change things up and spur things on. You have Riley Smith on the first line, try to shake it up, and nothing came of it. Unfortunately, Riley Smith has been struggling since his hot start to the season. I saw someone put out there on Twitter last week that since Raquel has been injured, a player that we all thought that is snake bitten, that can't score, that's going to be traded, he gets removed from that line, and that line just goes spiraling out of control. It doesn't work with O'Connor. It doesn't work with Smith. It doesn't work. So Raquel, I guess, is the glue to that, which, never thought I'd be the one to say that for that line. So that's interesting. Just to go off the power play, not only are we 0 for 33, not only are we 1 for 40, but we have not scored a power play goal in 12 games. The NHL record, not just Penguins record, NHL record for that is 16.
Unreal.
We are 4 games away from having that happen. And I understand everyone's like, oh, that's 4 games. We'll get one in that time. Well, we've been saying that for the last 12.
Yeah.
So, it's on the doorstep. It's a possibility that we can break the NHL record for it. And I when I saw that stat, I literally said to myself, I wonder how old that record is. And I tried finding it real quick before I hopped on. I can't. So I don't know if that means that it's super old, or it's just that no one.
It's last year. It's it could be last year, but
I hope. But yeah, because that's an unreal stat. 16 games without a power play goal. I can't imagine. I tried all game to just, as I'm watching, try to find silver linings.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to do so. Not only tonight, it's been hard to do that the last 3-4 games, Um, first period only having 4 shots. I understand that it's,
Mhm.
shots are a product of, good chances, and if a defenseman blocks the shot, it doesn't count. I get all that, but still, to only put up 4, it's not that doesn't look good. Um, turnovers were just, again, everywhere. Letang looked horrible tonight. Um, you know, he
Horrible.
was
Horrible.
right, horrible. So, I mean, I was trying to find a nice way to put it, but like as the game went on, it's like, man, he's just not playing well. He's not playing well. And then it's just like, wow, like just mistake after mistake after mistake piled up. Didn't like it. Um, the only silver linings I was able to find was Ludwig has like etched out a role in this team, and that is absolutely beautiful. He nails it, the physicality, but yet still defensive and understands his role 100%. And the fact that, like, if we do have to move on from the coaching staff, okay, we have to somehow keep whoever is in charge of the challenges,
Yeah.
because we want another one. And I would love to see that record, because that may be the greatest record of all time for challenges, because I can only count on one hand that I can remember that we have lost a challenge. So, honestly, like, it's really hard to find. And if you can throw up NES's most recent comment, because that's a good point there. That 2 minute or so of zone time we had was the best we looked the whole game. That means
Oh
that for
yeah.
58 minutes we looked awful. That's exactly correct. And I don't know what 2 minutes you're talking about, but like, I think it's the 2 minutes where in the third, where I think was it the third, where we
Yeah, I think
literally
so.
were, yeah, like, so it was when we made the lineup changes, which I'll get to in a minute, and we were just in the zone. It was Crosby, Gensel, Malkin, and Letang and Carlson, like literally our 5 best players just there. And yeah, that was the best 2 minutes. But that third period, I don't know what happened in the locker room, but Russ did not come out.
Oh,
And
breaking news.
okay, please.
Upper body injury for Russ. He's out.
I hate Sullivan with that.
I don't think he knew until he came out after the game.
No. I understand. But what upper body? Shoulder, elbow, wrist?
I know.
I hate it. Is it chest, back, head? What? It could be anything upper body. I hate that.
It's upper body or lower body. So he can have
Yeah.
like a decapitated head, and he would say
upper body injury. Yeah, hate that. So he doesn't come out of the locker room to start the third. So then Sullivan shuffles the entire lineup, and not only because Rust is out, he benches that number 15. I can't pronounce his last name. The new guy that they called up.
15, Koppanen?
Koppanen? Is that how you say it? Koppanen?
Yeah.
Bench Koppanen and Zahorna. So then he ran 3 lines the entire third period.
Yeah.
Gensel, Crosby, Malkin, Smith, Eller, O'Connor, and Nylander, Carter, Harkins.
What a lineup.
I mean, the fact that you even have Malkin up on the top line and you still can't score until like 30 seconds left in the game.
Oh, it wasn't even a good goal.
Like a fluke goal.
Let's not even talk about that goal.
I know. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, the fact that you made that change and you still couldn't score, like, that is concerning. And then to try and spice things up and spur on the team, they changed the defensive pairings to bring Letang up with Carlson and then Graves with Pedersen, but then keep Shea and Ludwig, which is fine. Like, they only played sparingly in the third period.
Yeah.
But like, I don't understand that change. And that was frustrating because Sullivan is like trying to find a solution and he's trying everything, but nothing is working. Everything is discombobulated and every time he makes a change, I feel like it makes things worse. We have yet to stick to like a certain lineup for more than a handful of games. Even at the start of the year, the beginning lineup that he had only lasted a few games, and then he changed things up again. And I get it. People get hurt. You got to substitute. But at the same time, like, there's got to be some continuity. There's got to be some consistency that will be able to generate chances here. And I'm done talking about solutions for the power play. We've done enough episodes on that. And I don't even know what else we need to do in order to move forward. And as I love Sullivan, I would love him to stay on, but I have a feeling as a Titans fan, there is going to be a situation that happened 2016-17 with the Titans former coach Mike Mularkey. The owner came to him and said, something needs to happen. We want you to let go of your coaching staff and rebuild in the offseason. And he stuck to his guns and said no. So the owner fired everyone.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's going to be a conversation very similar to that with Dubas, with the Fenway Sports Group, and with Mike Sullivan, and say, you need to make a change. Yeah. You need to make a change. And if Mike Sullivan sticks to his guns, I would not be surprised if they do fire him and we find out that that's the reason. That because he's sticking to his guns, they say, well, then we have to let you go too, because there needs to be change here.
Well, here, can I just, I'm going to comment on that real quick.
I'm done.
So yes, I would say there's definitely going to be a conversation. We are in Florida for a bit. We're here until Friday. Friday, we play the Panthers, and then we're back.
Yeah, nothing's happening until we get back.
Correct. I don't even think Dubas is with us. So he may be making phone calls, but that initial conversation of, hey, our power play sucks. Nothing is working. Our guys are hurt. What are we doing to win? Yeah. Because you need it's basically a PowerPoint presentation. It's like, hey, what are you doing to help us win? Because if you win, we make money. So what are we doing? And Mike Sullivan's got to defend what he's doing, and he's got to defend his positioning. And I think he has a strong case. The problem is, I don't know. I hate when people say this term. Oh, Mike Sullivan lost the room.
Yes, I agree.
Hate that phrase because it almost never happens. I hate when they say, oh, Mike Sullivan lost the room. He lost the locker room. The guys are just doing what they want to do. And even in his quotes, kind of back that up. He just had a quote. Oh, and I lost it. He had a quote about tonight saying, we need to have, I thought we had some good chances in the first period. We need to encourage them. If we need to encourage them to get down low, take more opportunities, and make Tampa defend. And I'm like, encourage. Sully, you got that wrong. You got to say you better do it or you're on the bench. I would not use the word encourage. Maybe he's just being nice. But hey, something needs to happen. In fact, after the game, Josh Yo reported. He is a reporter for the Penguins. I guess Pittsburgh Sports.
No, he's the Athletic.
The Athletic, but he's appointed to the Penguins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like it's his job. It's his job to report on the Penguins. Yep, you're correct.
Yeah. So Josh Yo reports minutes after the game. They get into the locker room. He says, closed door meeting appears to be taking place.
Yes, and I wanted to ask you, does that mean coaches and players? Just coaches? Just players? Like, what is that? So I've never heard of this before.
They shut the doors, and they are not allowing media in right now.
Got it. So it's just coaches and
They are
players.
talking to and most likely it's things that are not good to be heard.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. No, I get that. That's why it's
so
closed.
it's
Yeah.
closed doors. So basically, what that tells me is that Mike Sullivan is yelling at the players, not encouraging, not just saying, "Hey guys, hey, we got some good opportunities there. We got to get back." He is yelling, most likely individually pointing out,
Yeah.
Malkin, you need to pass the puck. Sid, I need you to be a leader on this team. Now it's we gotta start having heart, boys. We gotta start playing better. We gotta start doing this. You are here temporarily. We could change that. Like, these are the conversations that most likely go to your imagination when I see closed door. I'm
Now,
thinking,
but here's my question for you,
yes.
because you mentioned a phrase that you don't agree with, that Mike Sullivan lost the locker room.
Yeah.
Okay. Not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying, now, how many times can he like drill that into a player and that player just does not listen? At what point do you just say it's no longer the player and it's the coach? Because a part of me thinks this has probably been, talked about in practice, talk about, like, behind closed doors, for
Yeah.
lack of better term, where he is doing this, and yet there still is no change.
So then,
So
okay.
is that, so I'm just going to say, so then is that a Mike Sullivan problem, that they aren't taking his words and running with it?
I think if he does what he needs to do, which is, hey, I'm telling you what to do and you're not listening to it, he needs to draw the line and go, okay, Dubas, get rid of him. And
I hear that.
Dubas will have to say why. Because I am trying to do this for the team. He's not listening, and we are not getting through to him. Either send him down to Wilkes-Barre, put him on waivers. I don't care. Get rid of him. We need to. Hey, he needs to learn his place. I think you see that all the time when you see players go down on waivers because they're not producing. And that's what happens. They go to management. Coach can't send a guy to waivers. So
No, I get it.
coach's got to go to the management and say, hey, get rid of him. He's not doing it. And what do you say to Mike Sullivan, and how does he respond where his top guys are not performing? Who's that on? Who does he go to? He there's no way Mike Sullivan's going to go and say, "Hey, Evgeny Malkin's not producing." Well, we're not going to put him on waivers. We're not going to bench him. We can't. He's too expensive to bench. What are we going to do? We got to ride him out. And that's the hard thing. And then what happens is the media gets too big. Everyone starts getting freaking out and point fingers. What I just say, we're not getting rid of Malkin. Sullivan's the scapegoat.
Yeah, and that's where, like it's not that I think that he's deserving of being fired. I just think that, like,
Change needs to happen.
it's probably what's just going to happen, unfortunately. And this is my fear, is
Yeah.
that, like, so they fire Mike Sullivan and they keep someone that's an assistant coach right now and just, like, bring him into the interim role.
I think that's what's going to happen. Like you said, I think Mike Vellucci is the number one selection.
Really? Because Todd Reardon had inquiries about being a head coach elsewhere.
So did Mike Vellucci. Mike Vellucci won the Calder Cup in Charlotte before he came to the Penguins. Now, remember,
that's true. He did.
That was what, 2 years ago? 2 seasons ago? Or a season ago?
Maybe 3.
So maybe. All I remember is we covered this. Mike Vellucci came on.
So then it was probably our first.
So it was our first off season.
Yeah.
So I think 2 years ago. So what I mean by that is when we covered it, I said Sullivan's on a short leash, because why would you bring in that guy to be an assistant coach? He just won a championship. He just won a cup. He's looking for an NHL job. Why would he take an assistant coaching job in Pittsburgh? I
Yeah.
think it's for the same reason why you bring in a veteran in for goaltending. You're not scaring the main franchise goaltender, but you want him to be better. And I think that's what they did with Mike Vellucci. Now, Mike Vellucci seems like a good guy. He's not very outspoken, but he is probably just sitting and waiting for the opportunity like now. Now, his PK, he's in charge of the penalty kill. He's not bad at his job. Now, if I'm him, I'm smiling ear to ear because my job is working. Reardon's job is gone. Mike Sullivan is in the hot seat. No one is looking at Vellucci like he's the problem. So
Yeah, but here's the thing though. This is where like I guess every organization is run a little bit different. So like I don't know how it would work for us. Who's responsible for hiring and firing? Because was Vellucci brought on by Sullivan's choice or by the old regime in Hextall and Burke? So it's the management. So then here's my question. If it's truly management that hires and fires the coaching staff, so then we really do have to look at Dubas and say, why is Reardon still here? Because the thing is like if it's up to Dubas and upper management, that's a decision that should have been made already. If you're at it, like, to be completely honest, like how do you let it go 0 for 33?
And actually,
yeah.
I just looked on Twitter. It's actually 0 and 34. We missed one.
For real?
For real, it's 0 and 34.
They had 4 power plays tonight?
I guess so.
Because we came in because I think we came in 0 for 30.
Sportsnet we came in 0 29.
If we came in for 0 for 29 and they had 4 power plays, then we're spot on at 0 for 33.
Yeah, I'm just realizing. I don't know that Sportsnet came out with that stat.
Yeah.
Sportsnet. So I don't think it's.
I don't know.
We're like, this is the problem with this situation. So many things are going wrong at once. It's hard to nail it down.
Yes.
So it's not like the Pittsburgh Penguins' only problem is the power play. It's not. I mean, we have injuries right now. Like Rust is out again. He was just out. Now he's back out. Our power play is not good. In fact, our penalty kill is now on the decline.
Well,
what?
The penalty kill, those players are hurt. Like there's no Achari, there's no Nieto.
You're right. But what I'm saying is our current penalty kill is on the decline. We have been letting goals in left and right on the penalty kill. Not good. Our power play, obviously 0 and 34. As NES would say, welcome back, that's unforgivable. So there's that. So our PK is bad. Our power play is just downright like terrible. We have some injuries. These are things that are not a coach can be like, you're to blame. Like, he can't control injuries. He can't control. I mean, like, some would argue he can control the power play and the penalty kill, but then who is he going to play? You know, like, and you like everyone thinks like, oh man, our power play is not working, and then they kind of forget to realize like once you put out all your best guys on the ice, you need to have other guys come on the ice after them. Yeah. So what would you like Mike Sullivan to do? Have all the best guys go on the ice. He sends out the bad guy, like no offense to everyone else, but the bad guys on the ice, and you want them to score? Well, that's not going to happen. And remember, we just got over the hump of our bottom 6 not producing this season. Remember, we were all upset about that. So Mike Sullivan is not new to, oh man, we're struggling here. We have been struggling from game 1. Okay? Just our power play is just so oblivious. And now our play is so oblivious. Shout out Dad for calling that out. It's so oblivious. Now we're starting to look for people to blame. I think changes need to be made tomorrow.
Won't happen.
I know it won't because we're on a road trip, most likely on Saturday when we get back in Pittsburgh. But I think changes need to happen. Kyle Dubas could already be making the call.
They're going to fly back Friday night. When we're recording, when we're live, we may hear something.
I don't think it'll be that soon. I think it would be the next day where they officially say Mike Sullivan, or which I don't want. I would like to go on record.
If it's something that big, yeah, they're gonna wait. But I'm just saying, like, if it's like
Todd Reardon, he's gone. They're gonna do like a subtweet, and they're like, "Looks, we need to find a new guy to do a power play." We're like, "Oh, is Todd Reardon gone?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, we've got to mention." Yeah, so that's kind of what that would do. Yeah, I think Kyle Dubas has some looking in the mirroring to do tonight.
Yeah.
What does he want this team to look like before the trade deadline? Or is he buying time for the trade deadline? Because we need to get new guys. I don't think it's Mike Sullivan. I want to go on the record by saying I defend Mike Sullivan. I have previously stated that I would take a bullet for that man, and that statement won't go away. Mike Sullivan is our head coach, and I believe in Mike Sullivan, and I'm sure Kyle Dubas does, because if I was Kyle Dubas and I came into a team that did not make the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, wouldn't he just wipe the slate clean? Wouldn't he wipe the slate clean and start then? He has no allegiance to Mike Sullivan, but he sat down with Mike Sullivan knowing that he is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I think that's exactly what we need to have, that mentality. He is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's the only guy who can rein in these guys. But the problem is now the players. I don't think he lost the locker room. I don't think he has anything to worry about. What I do think is Todd Reardon needs to go sooner rather than later. I think you move Mike Vellucci to the power play, or you bring in a new guy, Ty Hennis. He's an assistant coach. You just move him to the power play, and you let Sidney Crosby be Sidney Crosby and say, "Hey, Sid, we're going to need you to be a Gordie Howe and be a coach/player." No, I'm not joking. Let Sid call the plays. Let Sid do it. His hockey IQ is outrageous. Let him do it.
Yeah.
You know, we always kind of go to football because, Josh, football is king. And what was the biggest problem with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? He said they weren't allowing me to make the calls I wanted to make. Okay? There was other issues in Green Bay, but that was one of them. All right? Now in the New York Jets, they were like, Aaron, what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
That's why they derailed once he got hurt.
And I feel like we need to start treating Sidney Crosby a little more like that. Maybe he doesn't want that. We don't know. But if I was in the media, which I guess we are, I would love to ask him. Yeah, Josh, we are. Let's be confident in that. I would love to ask him, hey, would you want to start making calls on the ice? We know you make suggestions like, hey, I'm going to pass it to you. You're going to pass it to him, right? We all know the infamous story in the Stanley Cup, right? He knows he makes these little plays. But how about we actually have him do things for the power play? How about we have him start doing things? I think that's the best way. I think that's what we need to start doing. Move Ty Hennis to power play and basically have him be a puppet while Sidney Crosby does all the work. I think that would be a great plan. Mike Sullivan keeps his job. Mike Vellucci keeps his job. Everyone's happy. But I see a lot of Twitter, a lot of tweets saying that Mike Sullivan should be gone. Mike Sullivan will be fired in the offseason if we don't make the playoffs. That, I think, is correct. That's the only one where I think that's true. If Mike Sullivan doesn't bring this team to the playoffs, he's gone. Not because he deserves it, but because we can't allow it to slide twice. You know?
Yeah.
That's something that won't be forgivable. And it didn't matter if Wayne Gretzky was our head coach. We would have let him go because that's something that's not going to fly in Pittsburgh. Which I understand. I'm not saying we're nowhere near that. Okay. 25 games in the season. Remember that. We have still a long season. Okay. We have a long season. This is a rough patch. Okay. We gotta keep that mentality. Long season. It's a rough patch. Do changes need to be made? 100%. 100%. But we got time. Josh, final thoughts.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong. I keep trying to remind myself we're just past the quarter mark. However, the halfway mark will be quickly approaching. And, you know, I don't know. This is the first time where we get to see firsthand how Kyle Dubas, acts as a general manager. Excuse me. Sorry.
No, you're right. Oh, no, you're making me yawn.
So how does he play it? Does he play the early hand, take advantage of be first to the market, essentially? Or do you wait for the actual trade deadline? I mean, we'll see. And I don't know. It's just baffling. It's one of those things where, we could talk about it until we're blue in the face, but unfortunately, we don't know if any change will actually take place.
I will say, Sidney Crosby just got they are 3 minutes ago. They are now allowed in the locker room. Okay, so I'm getting tweets as they come in. Sidney Crosby said, anytime we felt like we got a little momentum, either we're in the box or they scored. We've still got to find a way. We were down 2-0 last time we were here, and we climbed back into it. We've got to find a way to get that next one and get back in the game. Now, you can't see my screen, especially if you're listening audio, but you see how angry Sid looks?
Yeah.
He is not happy right now. Now, Sidney Crosby is the face of the NHL. I don't care what you say. He won't badmouth anyone unless it's the Philadelphia Flyers or the New York Rangers, right? Shout out to those memories.
Well, he won't do it now either.
No, I think he would if they did what they did back then. I don't like them. Those are GOAT quotes from Sid. Those were the best, dude. I wish we could go back to that time. But anyway, Sid was upset. He was visually angry. And you can tell he's a competitor. He wants to win. He's not going to let it slide. Like I said, he was fighting. He was trying. Now, they had a closed door meeting. Somebody said something that got me a little nervous that I was like, no. Well, first of all, it's just like a random person on Twitter. But they said Mike Sullivan is saying his official goodbyes to the team.
Yeah, no, I think that's a joke.
No. But I get it. He was saying it like a joke, but I'm like, ooh, was it though? Because
again, they're not going to do anything while on the road. That's just poor taste, because
yeah, I guess
you're essentially saying find your own way home.
What a way to go though. To be like
literally, if they fire Sullivan,
our plane is taken off, dude.
Yeah,
have fun in Miami a little bit before you head home.
Yeah,
don't let the door hit you on the way out. I don't think that will happen. Like I said, we both agree. If they're going to do anything, they're waiting until Saturday. If they're firing Reardon, which they should have done it yesterday, before they went on this trip. But
they were in Philly.
Yeah, I mean, I could drive back from Philly to Pittsburgh. That's fine. Enterprise is the official sponsor of the NHL. He'll get one for free. But and I would have fired him before the trip. But now, Friday, if it's Reardon, Friday night. Like if we don't score a power play, Reardon's gone on Friday. He's getting on the plane ride home. He is being like told, "Hey, you're fired."
Yeah.
If it's Mike Sullivan, which I do not want to happen, and I don't think it should happen, it will be an official press conference either on Saturday or Sunday from Pittsburgh. And I think Kyle Dubas will clearly get up and he's going to have to answer some hard questions, which I don't think will happen. I really don't think so. We got to wait till the trade deadline. That's coming up soon.
March.
It's not really soon. I don't know why I said soon.
It's early March.
Early
March.
March.
Literally 3 months away from it.
So we got some decisions to make for Kyle Dubas. So I'm sure he's thinking that too. I don't think he was on the trip with us, but I'm sure he's watching and just going, sweet Jesus. Like I have some things to do. And I'm sure his phone is buzzing from GMs around the league going, hey, I see you're struggling a bit.
Yeah, but there's no one out there. Like
I know, but people can make trades. People can make some depth guy trades. 100%. 100% that can happen. But who knows what will happen? What I do know is that we will be here next game, which is
Friday. Florida Panthers.
Okay, got it. Yep, it's going to be a 7:00 game.
I was going to say, I think it's 7.
I think it's 7. We'll be live tweeting during the game, and then after the game, 10 minutes after the game, we are going live on YouTube and Twitch. And if you guys want to catch our previous episodes, you can go on YouTube and go under the live tab and check out all the episodes. They're all labeled accordingly, and you can watch our reactions, like how angry we are at the Pittsburgh Penguins power play. You can go and look that up. Josh, where can they find the audio version of this podcast?
Yeah, so after every game, usually later that night, Louie uploads the audio. You can find it on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, wherever you're currently listening to us. Because like that's the crazy thing to think about here.
Time is weird.
Right now,
you're hearing this.
Is listening to this.
Our voices are going in your ear holes
on a podcast platform.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you have us subscribed, liked, whatever it is, so that when a new episode comes out, you get notified and you can I'm just speaking from Apple. You just download it and you play.
Yeah. Or Spotify. You just click that play button.
You just click the play button. Yeah.
Hey, and also want to add a little something else to this. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars wherever you're at, Spotify, Apple, and give us a little review. You know, did we do a good job? Do a good job. Anything under 4 stars, you're a hater. Just want to say that. Who says that, Josh?
Bomani Jones, ESPN.
There you go. Give us anything less than 4 stars, you're a hater, and we know that. But let us know what you think of the show. So go ahead and review it. It would mean a lot to us. Not only does it mean a lot to us, it helps the algorithm. So if there's more reviews, they're going to push that podcast to other people who haven't heard for the first time. So they're going to get to hear our beautiful voices for the first time, and that's really awesome. We have been growing as a podcast, and that is because of you. So I want to say thank you guys so much. We'll see you on Friday. This sucks right now to be a Penguins fan, but it will get better. We have to trust in Kyle Dubas, trust in Mike Sullivan, and of course, trust Sidney Crosby. We'll see you guys on Friday. And Josh, as always,